Welcome to the March 3rd Week in Review for the Ear Peeler Patreon campaign. Once again, we're trying to raise awareness and funds and whatnot to keep Ear Peeler going. I've talked a lot about the various tiered rewards that we have, why we're doing this, and another important reason why we're trying to do this, why I'm trying to do this, is I need to pay the bills. If I can't pay the bills, I can't keep doing this. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's really, I've listed a bunch of different goals that I want to reach to, and they're all very accurate. They're all things that I do want to do. At the same time, as I mentioned before, I am taking into consideration what taxes I need to pay and utilities and this and that I have to pay as well. No different than anybody else. So, just being frank and honest. Anyway, on to the week in review so far. This is being recorded Friday morning, March 3rd. So, by this afternoon, things can change. But hey, hopefully this helps some of you guys pass some time today at work, get you ready for the weekend, make you check out Ear Peeler, or go out on the web and search some of these topics and find out more on other sites. That's cool too. This is all a happy brotherhood, let's say. As I've always said, my site is a supplement to sites like Blabbermouth and Brave Words and others out there. My intention is to just help music fans like myself find out more about other things that are available. Interviews, shows, so on and so forth. So, I want to start things off by thanking people like Tom Arnold and Ileana Douglas for retweeting tweets that I made regarding Ileana Douglas's appearance on Tom Arnold's show. And you can find that right there on Ear Peeler. It is always awesome when someone well-known retweets stuff. We also had Peter Hook from Joy Division and New Order do that a little while ago. I had to screenshot that and send it off to my brother, and he was flipping out because he's a big New Order fan. So there you go. Anyway, on to the things at hand. Things that have been prevalent this week. I have the Monument t-shirt on. Monument is a band that Peter Ellis, former White Wizard lead singer, is fronting. And why do I bring this up first? Well, he has a company called Leather Rebels, if I'm not mistaken. They make belts for wrestling. And if you're seeing the belt that Neville is wearing on 205 Live and Raw, if you're seeing the belt that Tyler Bate wore when he's appeared on NXT in the UK Championship, these belts were made by Peter Ellis. If I'm not mistaken, he also made the new SmackDown and Raw titles as well. If not, if I'm wrong, please correct me. earpeeler@gmail.com. In any event, we're going to kick things off because it's been a big, busy week from a wrestling standpoint. What's going on with TNA? What seems to have been the biggest story, what's really kept them afloat, what's really kept my interest personally, was the Broken Hardys. Broken Matt Hardy, brother Nero, aka Jeff Hardy, and they're done at TNA. So is the Miracle Mike Bennett and his wife Maria Kanellis, who was known as just simply Maria in WWE. Drew Galloway, who was known as Drew McIntyre, is done with them as well. And so is Jade, who appeared at yesterday's show because they taped 2 months ago. It will be interesting to see what happens. Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. Zeb Coulter, are now under the new management, or the, as the Who would say, here's the new boss, same as the old boss. the old regime is coming back. And rumor has it from all the various shows that have talked about this is that they've deemed that none of these guys have done anything to put these shows over the top and keep their fan base. So this is why they've become expendable. We'll see. They already have Alberto Del Rio as Alberto de Patron. Alberto from a pattern for some reason. As the new big guy that they've brought in. We'll see. Other big wrestling news is the whole end to SmackDown with Randy Orton, how that works out with AJ Styles, the rumored AJ Styles against Shane McMahon match, and Kurt Angle, the whole Hall of Fame thing, and the rumors that with Mick Foley going out with a hip replacement surgery, that possibly Angle will take over as GM after WrestleMania. We'll see. Moving on to the music side of things, Loudwire put out an extensive series covering the 25th anniversary of Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power. Just ridiculously well done. I recommend that you check this out, whether you go to Loudwire or you go to Earpeeler to check it out. Again, a perfect example. You can go to the search button, which looks like a magnifying glass within the menu bar at the top of Earpeeler, and put in Vulgar Display of Power, put in Pantera, or put in Loudwire, and they'll come up. So, or you can search by metal from the drop-down category or album discussion. So there's a ton of ways that you can come upon it on Earpeeler. If you're remotely a fan of 90s metal, of Pantera, of great storytelling, check this series out. Definitely recommended. I love what the guys at Loudwire do, and I definitely recommend this once again. They also had Graham from Loudwire, Graham Hartman, had an interview with HR from Bad Brains. Definitely check that out as well. Excuse me while I clear my throat here. Legendary rap lyrics. Decibel Geek Podcast has re-released in video format their Albums Unleashed, Slave to the Grind episode that they did with Michael Wagner. I should have researched this better. Michael Wagner or Rachel Bolan of the band. I apologize, but check it out nonetheless. It was great. I listened to it a while back and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, and props to Decibel Geek for backing us up there on Patreon. On Talking Metal, Michael Schenker talks about doing this big tour with all of his well-known singers. That would be Gary Barden. That would be Graham Bonnet, who I had on Mars Attacks not that long ago, and Robin McCauley. So it'll be very interesting to see how that works out. It'll be interesting to see who his backing band is as well, because let's be realistic, when you start to bring in names, you got to split money up. Maybe Michael has no problem with splitting money up, but a lot of bands tend to, have issues trying to work things out to make everyone happy. So, and from a gear standpoint, the NAMM fallout is taking place. And what I mean by the NAMM fallout is there are still NAMM videos being shown from the Winter NAMM from Anaheim, or I should say they're still being posted. But at the same time, all the review sites, all the various stores that I post, their demos and reviews and things like that, like Anderton's and Guitar Center and all that. I have no association to them. I wish I could get a kickback from them, but I do not. But I love the videos that they release with people demoing the gear. So if there was anything from NAMM that you were curious about, check out a lot of these different sites. You can go to the gear section of the site, whether you scroll down and find it on the right hand side or just go to the category drop down and click on gear. You'll find all these videos that are coming out now for all the new gear that was released or announced at NAMM. There's a lot of cool stuff that is coming out, and that will continue to come out. So before getting to some big topics that that are going to be talked about, no doubt, that come from sites like Blabbermouth, stuff that I've picked up off of Facebook as well. I want to go over the top 5 posts that you guys are checking out. And number 1, the number 1 selected post is something that is a leftover from last week, which is Metal Injection with Ghostmane talking about his death metal influences when it comes to his rap music. So there you go. Number 2, something to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, who's just been announced as being a personality both in front of the camera and behind the scenes with, I was going to say TNA, but he came out and officially announced that they are now just known as Impact Wrestling. So there you go. Just Impact Wrestling from now on. So his podcast was regarding why he got fired from WWE. He was Brother Love, if you don't know. He came up with a lot of different characters. And his podcast is widely listened to or widely popular because of all the behind-the-scenes WWE stuff that he talks about. Does that equate to getting good viewership on Impact Wrestling? We'll see. So it's completely different to when he was there before because he didn't have this show. Maybe now there are a lot more people that will check the show out knowing who he is. Who knows? So best of luck to him and everyone at Impact. Next up, we have something to the delight of Chris Sinzak from the Decibel Geek podcast, which is from NME. And it is Bush with their Songteller from their Songteller series. It's Gavin Rosdale talking about the song Swallow. So there you go. I'm being facetious when it comes to the whole Decibel Geek thing. But there you go. Up next, 100 Words or Less. Interviewed, and I hope I am pronouncing this right, and I apologize if I'm not. This is Casey Aylward from the bands Astronoid and Vatnet Viskar, post-metal bands, if I'm not mistaken. So that is your number 4 post that you guys have selected as of today. And number 5, this is actually not the recipe that was posted earlier this week from Headbanger's Kitchen, all the way from India. We have 2-minute keto bread, and just awesome. I apologize, I don't have the chef's name written down, but definitely check out Headbanger's Kitchen. He's trying to lose weight via the various keto recipes, and again, best of luck to him. So there are your top 5 posts for this week, today, the end of the week, I should say. And let's touch on some big news that have come out over the week, different things that I'm going to touch upon in sort of an editorial type piece. I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, give me your feedback, earpeeler@gmail.com. Anyway, Gene Simmons tells the Canton Rep that he is about to announce a big box set that is supposed to contain around 150 unreleased Kiss tracks. Now, for a huge Kiss fan like myself, this is something that we've been waiting for a ton of years, since the last Kiss box set, because there was a lot of stuff that was not released. A lot of stuff that's out there on YouTube, a lot of stuff that's been rumored about, like the demos he did with Eddie and Alex Van Halen. So it'll be cool to see if we get any of this stuff. Will any of this get released? We'll see. Will it be just live material? Because there's always talk about a live box set as well. Will it be a mix of both? Will it be demos? Will it be stuff we've never heard before? Will it be a studio quality rendition of the demo to Not for the Innocent off of 1983's Lick It Up, which had Paul doing the vocals during the chorus and Gene during the verse, which is very cool if you haven't heard that. I mean, that blew me away the first time, and I still love listening to that demo. So hopefully we get a studio quality of that. The next one, JJ French says that Iron Maiden asked Twisted Sister to go on after them at European festivals because they didn't want to follow Twisted Sister. Now, I have to respectfully call bullshit on this for the following reason. Iron Maiden has historically gone on during festivals at 9 to 10 p.m. They play their 2 hours and they're gone. It has been well documented how they travel with their plane and everything else. I'm not sure if this is a logistics thing, if this is them not wanting to perform after that, but I will say from going to festivals firsthand in Europe, most of the times the headliner is not the last band to go on. And I will give you several examples. Just talked about Gene Simmons and Kiss. I got to see Kiss and Dio headline the second night of the now ill-fated Cobetasonic Festival here in Spain in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And they were the headliners. Kiss was finished playing at somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 a.m., somewhere around there, 3:30. Saxon was the last band to play. They hit the stage at 3:45 in the morning. Saxon is not bigger than Dio or Kiss. That's just how things work out. The following year in the festival, Marilyn Manson was the headline act of night 2. It was Motley Crue for night 1. And night 1 was wrapped up by Suicidal Tendencies. And then night 2 was wrapped up by Hatebreed. So there you go. Then I went to a Sonosphere festival in Madrid. Metallica headlined night 2, which was on their, it was the Fade to Black anniversary show. Not Fade to Black, Black Album. And after them came Fear Factory. Burton C. Bell talked about, or he actually joked from the stage saying, we're the headliners since we're going on last. So yes, in the U.S., that is the case. How many festivals in the U.S. are going on until 4 or 5 in the morning, though? So there you go. Maiden always plays in that 9 or 10 o'clock headlining slot for them. And come on, let's be realistic, okay? What was Twisted Sister headlining in the States? Okay, they headlined the Rock Carnival. There's nothing wrong with that. But to say that Iron Maiden, who is selling out a lot of dates, a lot of big dates in arenas in the U.S., headlining big festivals, headlining stadiums around the world, to be scared to go on after Twisted Sister? They weren't scared to go on after them, or weren't scared to have them go on, to have them before them during the Power Slave tour. Why would they be scared of them now? So, there you have it. Joey Belladonna was interviewed and said that nothing during the Bush era really stood out to him. Now, until the end of time, people will always dispute who they like better. Joey, John Bush, even Neil Turbin, I saw some people mention online. So, but let me ask you this. This is something that never gets brought up. Joey released music while John Bush was in the band. Can you compare both and choose which you like better? This is akin to Ace Frehley with his solo band, or as a solo artist releasing music while Kiss is still releasing music? You choose, you decide. You decide. What would you take? What would you prefer to listen to? Joey's solo music or Anthrax's music with John Bush? So, I know my decision, but in any event, you guys choose what you think. And again, that's never brought up. Joey released material as well. So, and to wrap things up, a story that unfolded yesterday. Earlier this week, I received a link to check out The Seeker, the new track by Quiet Riot, which is going to come off of their new release, Road Rage, which comes out on April 21st. The lead singer is the former Adler's Appetite lead singer, Sheldon Tarsha, who is now using his real name, which is Sean Nichols. And he's supposedly done the entire album, okay? The song came out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, earlier this week. And it has now been announced that James Durbin of American Idol fame is now the lead singer in Quiet Riot. Sort of weird. I've always backed Frankie in his choice of continuing with the Quiet Riot name. I am of the school of thought that if he legally owns it or is legally allowed to use the name, who are we to determine, what someone does? Obviously, the weight of the Quiet Riot name is heavier than Frankie Banali and Friends, or going out as Frankie Banali's Mental Health, or something to that effect. For someone trying to get a business off the ground like I am with this, I understand full well what it's like to have a big backing. With podcasting, I understand what it's like to have a big backing when I had the Talking Metal name behind me. So I understand why Frankie's doing it. But at this point, it's just odd that you're about to release an album and the lead singer switch takes place. He's saying that there was problems behind the scenes. I guess this will all unfold. We'll see. Sean is a good friend of the Classic Metal Show, so maybe he'll be on that this weekend. Maybe Frontiers will have something to say about this as well, because, again, having a lead singer switch so close to the release of an album is just very odd. Vinnie Vincent Invasion comes to mind with Robert Fleischman singing on the album, but Mark Slaughter being the guy that appears in the videos and on the tour. So we'll see how it all pans out. My question is, will there be a second edition to their documentary? Well, now you're here, there's no way back. Will they add an addendum to this where we have now, they added Jizzy Pearl last second. Jizzy had recorded the previous album 10, which now you can no longer get a hold of, and did all the touring. The switch happened, and now this other switch happened. So we'll see. Frankie is saying that James was his first choice. Obviously, him appearing on American Idol, appearing with Judas Priest, if I'm not mistaken, and all that great stuff. Makes you wonder why the switch happened. Is it to draw more people to the band? Is it because they really had issues and want to work it out? Want to work something out to have, their relationship within the band to be something more cohesive and work out well behind the scenes, because obviously the relationships within the band matter. So there you go. Anyway, this has been a long update. I've more or less condensed the entire week into this one video. Hope you guys check it out. Hope you guys go to the link that is below, Patreon/earpeeler, patreon.com/earpeeler, to help back what we're trying to do with the Patreon. I understand, once again, that people cannot subscribe or pick up on a subscription basis, but there is also a donate button, which is right above the Patreon logo that you find on the right-hand side of earpeeler.com. And if you click on where it says donate, it will take you to a PayPal page where you can donate whatever amount of money you want. So I appreciate, once again, anyone who is out there checking this video out. I want to thank any of you that have backed this video by the time that you've seen this, or if in all perpetuity someone checks this out a month, a year from now, whatever, and they're stumbling upon this. Thank you for checking it out once again. Thank you for backing this. And again, if this is the reason why you back the video or the campaign, I apologize for tripping up all of a sudden. Then I thank you. In any event, thanks to everyone. We'll see you next time, or you'll see me next time, discussing all this fun stuff in roughly a week's time, right here on the Ear Peeler channel on YouTube and on Patreon for our Patreon campaign. See you.